back. Those that are not earning enough have to also get back from the government. Like where I am, if you earn more than 20,000, you start paying more tax. But if you get more than 5,000, the government have to reimburse you because
they reimburse you.
Yeah, if you have one child, you have 3, 4. Government have to support you. If you have one, you are working, your wife is working, you are okay. But people that have 3, 4, 5 kids, government have to give them support if they are not earning enough. So you just take tasks. You have to make sure the road is okay. I was coming, the road is so bad. All this money I use to make sure that everything is in place.
Okay. All right. That brings me to the next question now, because we're pressed for time. We need to begin to wrap up.
Okay.
If you are to send a message to the president himself, like what will be your message to him? Because like Idris said, let's have our own, because the truth is, when the president leaves Nigeria, even if he's going there for a diplomatic relation, the first thing that comes to the mind of every Nigerian president is sick.
Yeah.
That is just the truth.
Because it stay more longer time.
You understand?
You understand? If you are
longer.
going for diplomatic purpose, 2-3 days is enough for
You're
you
done.
have to
You'll
go
come
back.
back. This is 15 days into the new year. He left last year.
Yes.
This is 15 days. That's half of the month already. We've not seen the president. What would be your personal advice if you're to send an advice to the president in terms of this incessant trip and making our system here work better to avoid, because like he said, forex will be involved. You have to pay for the jet, the private jet where you're parking it. Since then, we know the money that has left the Nigerian coffer to maintain the jet where it is, or pay for parking of the jet.
Okay, my advice is this: wherever he goes to, whatever he has seen there, let it come back and and do it in the same country so that the country will get better. For example, let's assume he went for holidays. In holidays, if you go to a place like Paris, you see how beautiful it is.
Exactly.
You try to come back and implement what you have seen in that aspect. Medical aspect, for example, when you go to hospital anywhere in Europe, if you don't have a sufficient income, as a citizen of that country, you are treated for free.
Wow.
Medically, it's free.
But that does not happen here.
No, you have to take care of yourself. But now that we want to start paying tax, the government has to be responsible for every citizen.
You think so?
It's supposed.
Okay.
It's supposed.
All right, Idris, let's get your final take as we wrap up.
All right, Idris, I would like to know, are there any particular negative effects of these incessant trips by the president on the average Nigerian?
Well, thank you very much. The negative effect is that Nigerians are paying for the global junketing of its leader. We are paying by way of taxes. This is a new year. Our brother in the studio, I can't agree less with him. He has pointed it out correctly that now we are going to be paying taxes. And as we pay taxes, it's expected that we enjoy the social and president, for example, coming to UBTH to take treatment. That is exactly what our president is doing now. I cannot imagine, for example, a US president coming to Obudukato Ranch to come and relax, and then meeting other heads of state in Obudukato Ranch. There are plenty places within the United States that he can do that. So our leaders should begin to think of this. Our leaders should be nationalistic in their approach. Our leaders should be clear-headed in their approach. Our leaders should know that they are actual leaders. They are not boys for the West. And I must also mention that finally, the final power in a democracy is in the hands of the people. The people are the ones who will determine their leadership. In the last presidential election, 93 million people were registered to vote. Only about 23 million voted. If you extrapolate that to the general population, we are about a country of about 300 million people. Only about 20 million. When I say 23 million, not for one candidate, all the candidates put together, 23 million voted. So I am asking the average Nigerian, take your destiny in your hands. Don't tell me they will rig all the elections, they will do this and that. There is something called the overwhelming majority. And the overwhelming majority in an election will always have their way, because in democracy, the minority will have their say, and the majority will have their way. Thank you for the opportunity this morning.
Yet, but before I let you go, let's delve into another conversation, which were a deal that came to an end yesterday, to an extent somehow, between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities. You've also lended your voice so much to the whole, a 2009 agreement between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities. But yesterday is like we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. 40% increment for their wages or pay, so putting an end, or purportedly to put an end to the every year strike in the university sector. Let's have your take on that before I let you go.
I do hope and pray. I do hope and pray, because a lot of agreements have been signed in the past that did not amount to much. I do hope and pray that finally we have turned the corner. One of the biggest frustrations of being a Nigerian is Nigeria puts the most talented of its citizens on a permanent hustling mode. You can imagine a professor earning less than $300 a month as his take-home salary. The question is, how can that professor who is earning $300 a month compete with professors everywhere else in the world? And you expect this same gentleman to deliver the same quality of education that you get elsewhere to Nigerians. It's similar to the police. You are paying a policeman 102,000 naira a month, and you give that policeman AK-47 rifle to protect lives and property. Now the policeman has turned the rifle you gave to him into a revenue-generating tool by arresting Yahoo boys and collecting bribes. You are crying. The simple fact is, if you pretend to pay those who are working for you, they will pretend to work for you. The Nigerian state has been pretending to pay its teachers, in this case lecturers, has been pretending to pay its security agents, both the military and the police, have been pretending to even support the citizens. That is why the citizens are also faking patriotism. You see everybody say, we love Nigeria, we can die for Nigeria. But when push comes to shove, people will put self and personal interest above national interest. That is because the country is pretending to take care of them. They are pretending to love the country. It is a good one that agreement has been signed, and I pray that they see it through, and I hope and pray that finally, the strike that characterized our lives as students, even me as student, I witnessed 2 strikes, one for as long as 6 months, will finally come to an end. Let it be said that our younger ones, when we tell them story of incessant strikes in our university, they will think we are telling fairy tales from the time of AIDS. Thank you so much for the opportunity again.
Thank you very much, Idris Zekari. We appreciate you for your time on the show this morning. Thank you. Let's now wrap it up in the studio with Ambassador Dr. Jackson.
All right, Ambassador, as we begin to wrap up, what would you say are your expectations, and of course your concerns as far as this agreement is concerned?
Yeah, the agreement is a good one. Okay. It's a very good one, but I pray that in the nearest future they get better. For a lecturer to be taking $300 in a month is too poor.
It's too poor.
You understand? So if you look at, I always want to compare it with Western world. Yeah. The least salary that somebody can earn is 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, depends on the kind of jobs you do. Okay. So we should also look at just the lecturers alone. They should also look at the public, look at the market women, how they can be able to improve the life of the citizen from the scratch to the top. Okay. We are just looking at the lecturer aspect now. There are people that are also bricklayers. There are people who also work in where they collect lower salary, like the police. That is why you see the police. They are not even interested in the salary. They are looking for one way or the other to get their money on a daily basis.
Just like Idris said.
Yes. So I will also encourage the government to work on the salary increment, because of the taxes start coming now. Yeah. Even taxing people outside the country is also wrong, because we're already paying a lot
over there,
and they're also taxing
you at home.
At home. So right. It's not so. That is another story entirely.
It's another kettle of fish. So we'll talk about that next time.
Next time. So.
And then your concerns?
My concerns is that he might. My concern is also for the government not to fail on their areas of expectation. Yeah, because they might say it and do another thing another time. So my concern is for the government to start to do what they say. Yeah,
they should keep to their word,
Their
because
word.
it's a social contract. That's
Yes,
according to law.
yes.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Dr. Abraham Jackson, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. TMI continues shortly. Stay with us.